We now know the hypnosis surrounding the first episode of the upcoming Pokemon anime, Pokemon Horizons. Already, it looks very promising as the situation at hand looks to put our new main character Liko in some real danger. So everyone, let's break down this new info and look at my theories and predictions for episode 1. Today's new information comes from Anipoke Fandom on Twitter. They are a trusted source that regularly gives us news on the Pokemon anime. Big thanks as always. Pokemon Horizons Episode 1 will air on April 14th, and it will be a 1 hour long special. No title has been announced as of yet. The summary states, Liko, a girl from the Paldea region, has enrolled at the Indigo Academy, a boarding school in the Kanto region. Liko is delighted to receive her first Pokemon, Spriggatito, but it doesn't listen to her at all. While Liko struggles to deepen her bond with Spriggatito, on the other hand, suspicious people appear who are looking for Liko's mysterious pendant. Alright, so let's look at the first part. Liko is actually from the Paldea region. Now, I didn't really think they would make her from there and instead just have her being from Kanto like Roy. Anyways, this is a already great start to Liko's character because I've been wanting and want Paldea to get a ton of focus and screen time in this series. Next, the summary stated that Liko has enrolled at the Indigo Academy boarding school in Kanto. We were so close, yet so far. Why I say that is because I do understand the Pokemon Company love Kanto so much, and I, as much as many of you, love Kanto too. But with the Paldea region literally having 3 schools to choose from, being Yuva, Naranja, and the new one from the DLC, Blueberry Academy, you would think they have to put Liko and the story in Paldea, but I guess we were wrong. With Liko being from Paldea though, I do think we might still get to see the schools from Paldea and the characters like Nemona, Penny, and Arvin in episode 1. Maybe Liko even knows them, but still ends up enrolling at the Indigo Academy in Kanto. I feel like there will be a major plot point to why she chose to go to a Cantonian school instead of a Paldea one. Missed opportunity? Yes, but I won't delve into it too much. The Indigo Academy is an interesting school name choice. The first thing that rings a bell when you hear the word Indigo is of course the Indigo Plateau, the league in Kanto. Due to that, it makes me believe that it might be a very elite school. Maybe even battling is a big subject they teach there, which is something Ash Ketchum would love. In addition to talking about battling and the league, I actually think the Elite Four of the Kanto League will be very prominent figures in the school. Not teachers, but role models for the students to look up to, and maybe they'll even come in here and there to teach the students valuable lessons. Seeing Lorelei, Agatha, Bruno, and Lance again would all be very awesome, especially for the fan base. Let's look at the next part. Liko getting her first starter, Spriggatito. Spriggatito is definitely a perfect choice of a starter for her, but just like when Ash met Pikachu, Spriggatito isn't listening to Liko at all, and she's struggling to deepen and create a bond with it. It's understandable this is happening as it's her first time having Pokemon. As seen in numerous trailers, Liko has tried to command Spriggatito in battle, but it has failed. We have seen one of Liko's close friends battle with her new starter Oshawott, which I speculated in my recent video how I think these two will end up battling for the first time ever. Though Spriggatito not listening, I don't think the type advantage that they have will be enough to save Liko from taking her first L, due to them having a non-existent connection needed to battle and win, and that's clearly going to play a big role and lesson to Liko in episode 1. Again, from the recent trailer, Liko and Spriggatito will in fact overcome their failure in being able to connect and create a bond, because we do actually see Liko successfully combining Spriggatito to use Leafage. So, what exactly is the catalyst or trigger that has allowed them to bond? And that brings us to the major part of this video, Liko versus what seems to be the villains. As said in the last part of the summary, suspicious people appear who are looking specifically for Liko's mysterious pendant. In my last video, which I do recommend you check out to know more about episode 1 and the series, from the trailer, we broke down a scene where Liko accidentally terrestrializes a Pokemon with her pendant. It sends a huge beam of light ripping into the sky, and the Pokemon she terrestrializes is actually a shiny Rayquaza. Yes, you heard me right. Now, due to this out of the blue incident, it's led me to come up with a theory that as a result of the energy being fired off into the sky, it actually alerts the villains of Pokemon Horizons to come searching for it. as it specifically aligns with what they need, the pendant. So, who are these villains? I say villains in quotes because it's not been confirmed they are the villains, but the chances of them being the villains look extremely high. The villains are a mysterious organization who goes by the Explorers. As of right now, we know 3 members: Zir, Conia, and Amethio. We haven't seen any animated footage of Zir or Conia, but we have some concept art for what they look like, and I really like their designs, especially Conia. I do get the Team Rocket vibe from them, but I really do hope with all my heart that this organization actually brings a threat to the story and the good characters. Amethio, the 3rd member, is actually my favorite Pokemon Horizons character, who is clearly the youngest, and we have seen him in previous trailers with his partner Pokemon, Ceruldege. In all the times we have seen him being promoted, he's battling Liko at night on the top of school roofs. The organization's true goals and motivations are still unknown, but we do know they need the pendant for something, so we can assume it's not good because they need to take Liko's pendant by force. Now, going back to my theory of the villains being alerted by the energy, as we see in the trailer and what I talked about, Amethio is shown, meaning that he did in fact find Liko and her pendant, which is really bad for Liko because she just got her starter, so she truly doesn't know how to defend herself in battle because Spriggatito has barely battled anyone. So I think that explains why the two are having to jump from the school buildings to escape, which is crazy if you ask me. Literally gives me XY Ash vibes. Going back to Liko's opposition, Amethio looks like an elite trainer who definitely knows how to battle and is confident in his own abilities, which is evidenced through his stance and soft-spoken but serious tone. His Ceruldege also emanates the same level of eliteness as it's shown using Bitter Blade. So yeah, Spriggatito stands no chance, and I could even see it being scared out of its mind after seeing Ceruldege attack. With Liko clearly outmatched by Amethio and possibly even outnumbered by Zir, Conia, and the organization, she is truly in danger, and I really love this potential high tension tone set by the episode. However, even though Liko and Spriggatito seem alone, I don't think they will be alone, because Professor Friede will be the one to save them. Friede has been shown in the trailer to come flying down on his Charizard in the same night setting, saying, "I found you." And what I think he means by that is that him and his crew, the Rising Volt tacklers, were also alerted by the energy that went off, hence why he says, "I found you," most likely in response to the pendant. If you didn't know, Friede loves to battle, and he's literally known as the battling professor, so I can totally see him fending off the Explorers organization and helping Liko escape, and I'm sure they will succeed, which will be hype. Going off what I said earlier, the reason why Friede and his crew were even aware of this energy is because Friede said the Rising Volt Tackler's mission is to unveil the mysteries of Pokemon and the world. One of those mysteries that clearly aligns with all of this is of course Liko's pendant. So episode 1 in my opinion would end with Liko and Friede escaping, getting back to the Rising Volt Tackler's ship, and he introduces Liko to all of the crew. All of this unfolding would be really good and successfully set the stakes as well as tension for what is to come in the future. Of course though, I'm expecting way more from this episode. This was just my little own rough prediction. Now, here are some things I think are crucial and must happen in episode 1 to be successful in winning over us, the fans, for Pokemon Horizons, and I believe our expectations should be high. From what we've seen being promoted already, they have done really well. Firstly, the episode has been confirmed to be a 1 hour long special. This already intrigues fans to want to watch, especially because they rarely do 1 hour long specials, so it's already a big green tick. This is one of the most important ones, the animation itself. One of the best ways to get us excited as Pokemon fans for a new series, arcs, or even episodes is showing us top tier animation, and Pokemon Horizons has clearly done that. For those who don't know or are unaware, Tetsuo Yajima, the director of the XY series, has returned back to the Pokemon anime after being the director of Pokemon Movie 21 and Movie 23. This time, he's specifically an action director. You can tell his work through how the night scene looks of Liko versus Amethio, as the animation looks clean and the setting is reflected well by those decisions. So, I'm sure this will totally hook us as the audience to wanting to watch more episodes of this series. Because with the director of the XY series back, you just know we are in for a treat with this series. Another thing we must see is the story really establishing the plot and aim of this series. Of course, I don't expect too much to be fully done in episode 1, and if they do manage to achieve it, then I will be shocked. But nonetheless, just having a rough basis for why the fans should watch episode 2, 3 and 4 is super important in my opinion, as it actually gives us a proper reason to watch, because if there's no continuation with the plot, then we're just gonna have another early Pokemon journeys again, and we all know how that went. This is one I really want and I think must happen, and I've said it before. I super hope that the villain team is actually dark and has evil motivations like Team Flare in the anime. Something that actually feels like an actual threat to our main characters and what they stand for. From what Amethio said in the trailer, I can't afford to lose you here, it makes me feel there's a lot on the line, and he won't be taking no for an answer, like there's serious consequences if he fails from the organization. If this situation and story is as deep as I think it could be, then we could be getting something very similar to what happened to Alan in the Team Flare arc, and even worse. I think there's something major going on with Amethio and the organization, maybe forcing him to be in the organization for reasons of his own, as they promise him something, solely using Amethio just for his skills, like they did with Alan, hiding the dark truth. I will be making a future video just focused solely on Amethio because I believe he has the potential to be an amazing character. I want to see these quote-unquote villains really make a mark and statement in episode 1. I don't want a team yell or whatever. This first episode will make or break a ton of fans watching this anime, because without Ash, if they don't have something top tier, I'm sure many of us will choose not to watch the anime, and I think it will be a real shame, because Pokemon Horizons looks hype, and clearly has the chance to create this story into an unforgettable adventure with all the new characters, Pokemon and places. Overall though, I cannot wait for the episode 1 special to air. Thank you and welcome to all my new subscribers to our small community. I truly appreciate you all, and all of the support means a lot. I know we can grow into something massive. So, if you enjoyed today's video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe for all new future Pokemon anime related content, like the new Pokemon Horizons anime coming up.